Prime Minister Motley announces new measures to address a crime spike. Help on the way to get the fishing industry back to smooth sailing. Job recruiters looking for Barbadians to fill vacancies in the hotel sector in Dubai. And in sports, Tristan Evelyn sets to be added to the Barbados Olympic squad.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Pearson Bowen. Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley says her administration is prepared to amend the Bail Act to prevent murder accused from being a threat to society. In making the announcement, she's also warning perpetrators she will not allow them to hold the country to ransom. Ms. Motley says it will be part of efforts to address the crime situation across the island. She was speaking at a press conference this afternoon.
We have determined that in short order, we are prepared to bring amendments or a new bill, depending on what the AG's drafters recommend to him, in the near future, in short order, to be able to look at ensuring that persons who are charged with murder or firearm offenses are not given bail to go out there and walk about and kill people or put people at risk or threat again. And that is without prejudice to anything else. Because if the court ruled tomorrow that it was unconstitutional, we would have to bring a new Bail Act or new amendments. If it doesn't rule that it is unconstitutional, we don't have to do anything. So we have decided to take in front and ensure that the Parliament is in a position to ensure that the police and those who are charged with the protection of people and public safety in this country have the legislative protection and the ability to ensure that people who do not have a reason to be afraid of the law or to be afraid of the deprivation of liberty can continue with impunity and go out there and shoot and kill people.
Government has also agreed to the establishment of a serious organized crime unit to be manned by the Barbados Police Service. And while acknowledging community policing remains a critical component in the crime-fighting efforts, the Prime Minister says government has also agreed to deploy the police band in communities. She says members of the band will complement the 10 community officers already in the field.
The people whose lives are at risk are in our community. The people who are causing the problems are in our community. And regrettably, a gun does not give you any error for recovery in a way that even a rock stone or a 2x3 might have done years ago. And to that extent, therefore, if you are seeing people hiding guns around you, say something, because you may be the next victim.
Prime Minister Motley has disclosed details of another community-oriented crime effort called the Step Up program. She says it will involve professionals and community groups working together to boost the efforts of the Barbados Police Service.
We are asking for an organized program for Step Up. We are asking for people to be able to recognize that with respect to all that's going on, we need a coordinated effort between the police, between the social workers and psychologists and mental health workers, with the community development workers, with the life and parental coaches that we hope to establish soon, with the youth commissioners, and with all groups across the community. Because unless Bajans step up and help claim it, you can't rely only on the law enforcement officers. Full stop. And we've been very, very clear about that.
At that press conference, it was also announced that help is on the way for scores in the fishing industry whose vessels were damaged or destroyed during the passage of Hurricane Beryl. The Prime Minister says government is putting together a package that includes financial and other assistance for displaced members of the industry. Wendy Burke reports.
A humanitarian donation of 500,000 Barbados dollars from the Latin America Development Bank will go towards assisting fisherfolk who are today counting millions in losses after Hurricane Beryl wreaked havoc on the industry. This announcement is coming from Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley, who says the money will be the first to be placed in a benevolent fund for fisherfolk. She says a bank account number will also be released to allow corporate Barbados and members of the public to make donations to members of the industry. She was addressing a press conference today.
Without prejudice to what may be done by the wider public and wider donations, we have asked that a number of measures be put in place. One, those who paid national insurance, that will not be an issue. Those who were not up to date with their national insurance, we are aware, obviously, or did not pay, that you are still suffering. And the government introduced in the middle of COVID something called a business interruption benefit, which is slightly less than what you would receive if you had paid national insurance and receiving a benefit. All will be entitled to receive the business interruption benefit over the next few months until we can get the industry back on its feet.
Prime Minister Motley says government will also be working with financial institutions to establish a 30-year revolving fund that will be available to help fishermen finance new vessels. Additionally, a government grant will be made available to fishermen in the tune of 25% of the cost of any new vessel or for repairs.
With respect to the issue of the question of the repairs to the harbours, we have already met with the coastal engineers. They are flying in, the ones who have done most of the work, on Tuesday next week, and we have now to await their recommendations.
Prime Minister Motley says the public will be informed about the bank account number to which they can make donations to members of the fisherfolk through public service announcements.
Well, the full press conference with the Prime Minister, Mia Amar Motley, will be broadcast right after this newscast. It's all system go at the Bridgetown Cruise Terminal after Hurricane Beryl dumped loads of sand and debris into the facility. The first vessel has docked there since the passage of the hurricane. Wendy Burke visited the Bridgetown port. She files this report.
A few teams are still in place doing some last-minute repairs at the port. Management says a number of contractors and staff have worked around the clock to clear the rock, sand and other debris which the waves washed into the facility as a result of Hurricane Beryl. The port and the cruise terminal are both back to full operation, and the first ship, Rhapsody of the Seas, arrived today. It brought over 2,000 passengers who came to enjoy all the island has to offer. They also embarked on leisure tours providing business for coaches and taxi operators. Port taxi operator Curtis Gittins has praised the cleanup crews for helping ensure everyone gets back to work.
Ships is coming in, and the people who went to the beach today, they really enjoyed themselves today. It was a real bad disaster.
The terminal and duty-free shops were fully open for business to allow tourists to purchase souvenirs, liquor, jewelry and other items. Some sampled Bajan food and drinks at the terminal's bar and restaurant or on board the party bus. The area to the rear of the chattel houses was battered by the waves. As a result, they have not yet reopened, and management of the port tells CBC they will be in discussions with those operators. The section where the cruise ship is berthed looks as if nothing happened. A crew repairing a fuel line there is the only clue it was a disaster area 4 days ago. The management of the port has stressed staff should be applauded for their efforts to return the port to normalcy. Wendy Burke, CBC News.
The Barbados Light and Power Company has completed restoring electricity to all of its customers since the passage of the hurricane. Communications advisor Media Cassandra Crawford says the work was complete as of 7 last night.
At Light and Power, while we are grateful we have been able to have all Beryl-impacted customers' power restored, our work certainly continues. In fact, over the next few days, I can tell you crews will be addressing any low-hanging or sparking wires to ensure the safety and reliability of our service. We have also extended our readiness to assist our Caribbean neighbors who got the worst of Beryl through Carolet as required.
Now to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where Hurricane Beryl has left over 1,000 people in shelters after that Category 4 hurricane made landfall, claiming lives and leaving destruction. Crystal Hoyt visited one of the shelters today.
This is Jilanice Pompey, one of the thousands of Hurricane Beryl's victims now forced to occupy a shelter after the Category 4 hurricane destroyed her home. She recalls the terrifying experience.
if it's in the night, me and the kids, them go dead inside the house. Because when I in the house, I see the plywood, the first part of the plywood just raise off. So I try to hold it. I just grab a book bag, make sure I get his pampers, his wipes, 2 outfits, and then I run up my mom. And this boy so smart, you know, he lay down just like this and hung me up tight, he don't even raise up the head. And I creep up my mommy house, and then they watching my house getting blown away.
The mother of 3 says she's unsure of her next steps.
You ain't comfortable, but you have to make yourself comfortable because you do, at the time you don't have no way. So we make this our home for now until further notice.
Pompey said she was unable to salvage anything, leaving with nothing but the clothes on her back.
So right now I'm in need of everything, baby want pampers and stuff like that.
She's in desperate need of assistance, but hoping to rebuild. Reporting from Kingstown, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Crystal Hoyt, CBC News.
Well, the United Nations has lauded the massive volunteer effort in the wake of the passage of the hurricane on affected islands. Despite logistical and access issues, UN Resident Coordinator for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Simon Springett, says efforts continue to render assistance. He revealed during a press briefing on the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl in the Caribbean that support is coming through a logistical hub in Barbados.
We do have a large outpouring of international response. A French naval vessel is arriving into Carriacou today. We had support also across the region from Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago. So it's really an international effort. The UN is really proud to be a part of this, and we look forward to giving any additional detail in terms of the material support given and by those agencies involved.
Take a break here, but coming up, jobs for Barbadians in the hotel sector in Dubai. Barbadians seeking employment will soon have an opportunity to find jobs at home and abroad. All they have to do is attend the Trinity Recruitment Services Job Fair scheduled to be held at the University of the West Indies, Cayfield, from July the 15th to the 20th. Multi-Property Director of Human Resources for JW Marriott Marquis Hotel Dubai, Richard Thackeray, says he's looking for Barbadians with the right attitude to fill vacancies in different departments at the more than 1,600-room hotel.
We have obviously, a few vacancies now. We're in the quiet period now within UAE, but we build up towards Q4. And I think if I look at what we would like to take here, probably 15 to 20. But then I think if you add on the sister properties that I know have an interest in this, it can be up to 50, 60, 70 once we know what are the numbers that are there. So we're open to anyone that doesn't matter whether they have experience. The attitude is really the key. For me, if they've never set foot in a hotel, I don't mind, as long as they have the right attitude. Hospitality is it's a demanding industry, and they need that passion. So we're open-minded in that sense.
Cabin crew manager at Emirates Airlines, United Arab Emirates Dubai, Touabir Al-Khatib, says Emirates is actively recruiting qualified workers at this time.
To be honest with you, Emirates is actively recruiting, and we are recruiting in all departments. So whoever's qualified for any job, they are more than welcome to apply on our website. Our website is regularly being updated with all of the latest positions, and we've got over 100 positions available.
The National Cultural Foundation is promising a mega opening for the 50th anniversary of the Cropover Festival. It kicks off tomorrow with the Digicel 50th Anniversary Cropover Gala and ceremonial delivery of the last canes. Bridgetown will be the backdrop for the marquee event. Chief Cultural Officer with the NCF, Andrea Wells, has labelled it a massive family event. Activities include workshops exposing young Barbadians to Bajan culture and traditions.
Through this, we hope to not only share with a younger generation the resilience and the creativity of our grandparents and great-grandparents, but also to give them ideas in ways in which these traditions can be applied today. So we have wonderful workshops, traditional sweets, always popular. Kids get to make their own tamarind balls and eat them on the spot. No-cook sugar cake, the same thing. They learn how to make it. And these are simple things that once they know how to make it, they can make it in their home for their families, for their friends. And maybe we will stimulate a little young entrepreneur when they realize how simple it is to take things that are easily available in our environment and do something creative and yummy.
Meanwhile, there has been a change in location for the Scotiabank Junior Monarchs semi-finals. The juniors were initially to face the judges on Sunday at the National Botanical Gardens. However, Cultural Officer, Music Education at the National Cultural Foundation, Kevin Moore, says the semi-finals will now be held at the University of the West Indies at Cave Hill.
Due to the passing of Beryl, we had to pivot and find a way to ensure that the festivities still happen in a safe and viable environment for all. So therefore, Junior Monarch, the Scotiabank Junior Monarch semi-finals have now been relocated to the UE, University of West Indies, the graduation tent, just by the 3Ws Oval. Our start time is still 6 p.m. Tickets are still available at TicketPal and all of their locations, ticketpal.com and all of their locations. Tickets are still $20 for adults and $10 for children. The one change is that the location has been altered.
Mr. Moore says rehearsals are ongoing, and despite losing some days to inclement weather, they will be ready for the semi-finals on Sunday. He says the slate of semi-finalists includes some newcomers.
There's Trinity Clark, who would have written her own song, No Joke. Then we also have some persons in Calypso who would have assisted with the writing of their songs. Kinaz Walker, Bit Bit, is one of them. And then over in Soca, as usual, Josh Otts. He writes his own music, his own songs. We had also in that category, Joshua Blackman assists with the writing of his songs. We have some newcomers in Jade Roach, Carrie Ann Hofer Sam. She assisted the writing of her song with her mom. And there Talisa Motley, there's Israel Savory, there's Kyle Bishop, and Jaden Innes.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power Inn. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Time for us now for Sports Night, as we're joined this evening by who is not the fastest woman at the CBC, Anne-Marie Burke. Anne-Marie, good evening.
Good evening to you, Pearson. Maybe years ago it would have been.
Perhaps.
But Barbados' fastest woman, Tristan Evelyn, is set to compete at her second Olympiad. Well-placed sources tell CBC Sports the 26-year-old sprinter is expected to be named as part of the track and field team heading to the Paris Olympics. CBC Sports investigations also revealed that Evelyn is listed on the World Athletics website as qualified for the Olympics by the way of world rankings for the 100-meter event. She has a season's best time of 11.30 seconds, clocked at the Barbados National Championships last month at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex. Evelyn competed at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, where she exited the 100 meters in the first round. She joins on the track and field team two-time world bronze medalist and the island's best medal hope, Shade Williams, who will compete in the women's 400 meters. Triathlete Matthew Wright is the other confirmed competitor for Team Barbados. The full Barbados Olympic team is scheduled to be announced this coming week. The Paris Olympic Games are scheduled for July 26th to August 11th and will be live on CBC TV8. Bringing it back home now, Shirley Chisholm are into the semi-finals of the National Sports Council's Primary Schools Netball competition after defeating Grantley Prescott 7-3 today at Gall Hill. Meantime, Christchurch girls got the better of Hilda Skeen 5-3. CBC's Almar Goodrich Boyce reports.
First game in our coverage features Christchurch girls in green taking on Hilda Skeen, and it was first blood to the girls from Christchurch. Goal shoot, Zanaya Ramsey is on target. Hilda Skeen got going on this attack. Goal shoot, Zanaya Harding gets 2 bites of the cherry and makes the second one count. Christchurch girls showed good confidence throughout the contest, and there was no surprise when Ramsey struck again. That was way too easy. This one was no easy battle, and Hilda Skeen fought back to send it into overtime. Goal shoot, Tia Thorne takes aim and gets the shooter's roll, scores level at 3-all. So it was into extra time and it was Christchurch girls who prevailed. This was one of 2 extra period goals as they defeated Hilda Skeen 5-3. Second match now, a place in the semi-finals up for grabs in this quarterfinal encounter featuring Shirley Chisholm in the orange bibs against Grantley Prescott. Shirley Chisholm moving up the court nicely to the appreciation of the fans on the sidelines. And it was goal shooter Ramaya Wilson who converts the first goal of the match. That's impressive. Grantley Prescott now with accurate passing into goal shooter Kaisia Phillip, who makes no mistake. A smile on her face. She loved it. The athleticism was very much on display. Shirley Chisholm in possession and making it count. Goal attack. Janae Harvey converts. Well done. After that, it turned into a lopsided affair as Shirley Chisholm took full control of the match, winning 7-3. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
In business tonight, a homegrown color palette will soon be available to Caribbean designers. An initiative of the newly formed Caribbean Color Authority. It is a collective of Caribbean interior designers and color professionals. Barbadian Melissa Brown of M Design Interior Services is among the resource artists chosen, and she tells the Business Report about the project.
My palette is known as Bonafide. I chose it because it represents authenticity of us being our true selves, flaws and all. It's based on the Barbadian people and the resilience that we have and our own very Bajan pride. So you'll see that the palette is extremely vibrant because I find a lot of people are going after what it is that they want, whether that be business, whether it is their desires coming off of the pandemic. A lot of people are more social. So we have a vibrant red, which is attention grabbing, an orange, which represents being social, gender neutral. We also have a yellow, which represents creativity, hopefulness, striving for happiness, a warm and neutral white, and a brown, which has like undertones of gray, which represents stability and being grounded, especially in our roots from where we come from.
5 other Caribbean color professionals will be joining, and Miss Brown provided some background to the composition of the collective.
The Caribbean Color Authority has come to the Caribbean, selected a few designers and other persons who work with colors throughout the Caribbean to select an overall color palette to represent the Caribbean, to represent our mood, attitudes, and what is trending. I just want to say, honestly though, it is a great opportunity for us, and we actually get our own voice. Usually the colors, when you see a color palette for the year or like a color of the year, it usually comes from a completely different continent, and now we have our very, very own. So I am extremely excited to be one of those voices that get to represent the color palette.
Caribbean rum producers will be meeting in Barbados on Tuesday. It will be their annual general meeting, during which they will honor the 50th anniversary of CARICOM with a display and sampling of special rum products to celebrate the milestone. A key element of the session will be promoting responsible drinking and reducing alcohol abuse, and discussion on how best to support national efforts and enhance their initiatives. Expanding markets for regional brands will also get the attention of participants, who will be engaging high-level CARICOM and CARIForum officials during the proceedings. 13 producers in the West Indies Rum and Spirits Producers Association from nearly all the rum-producing CARICOM member states have released special developed anniversary rum blends to celebrate CARICOM's 50th anniversary. Anne-Marie Burke is back with another look at sports. Anne-Marie.
Well, thanks, Pearson. Barbados won another gold medal at the 2024 Junior Caribbean Area Squash Association Championships being played in Tortola, British Virgin Islands. In the boys' doubles category, Alex Stewart and Aidan Paris battled against Marian Bashk and Michael Alfonso of Guyana in the final and prevailed 11-4, 11-9. Added to that gold, Barbados won 2 silver medals. The mixed doubles final saw Soraya Yearwood and Dominic Wilson narrowly defeated Nicholas Verway and Avery Arjun of Guyana at 11-9, 11-6. And in the girls' doubles, Barbados' top seed pair of Ebony Atherley and Joanna Atkins faced a tough challenge in the finals against Catherine Risden and Sanjana Nalapati, with the Jamaican pair emerging victorious at 9-11, 11-6, 11-9. The Junior Casa Squash Championships will conclude this weekend with the girls and boys team events. Well, the Barbados Equestrian Association will host the inaugural FEI Eventing World Challenge this weekend, with several competitors set to participate. CBC's Almar Goodrich Boyce reports ahead of the action.
9 teams which train at Big C Stables under the guidance of Diana Clark and Sarah Jones are expected to compete in the Group C of the challenge, with a dressage test followed by a derby course with jumping and cross-country fences. It will give local athletes individual placings at regional and international levels, and President of the Barbados Equestrian Association, Monique Archer, says the island could benefit from receiving a world ranking.
We have a wide range of competitors, and we have some that are quite inexperienced and they haven't been riding for that long, so this will be their maximum level. And then we have some quite good show jumping riders that have competed up to as much as 1.30 meters, but this will be their first event of this type. So there's quite a wide range, and I think Barbados stands a very good chance of winning this for the region and probably getting a fantastic world ranking as well. This gives us a much broader base. If we can get the children involved and excited, they can start to sink their teeth into it from young. It becomes second nature, and it's just easier to develop it from there. So hopefully it can take us all the way.
Diana Clark, who is one of 2 coaches, says the competitors are excited for the big event.
They're all very excited. We're basically using either X-race horses. There are a couple that are mixed breed. And then we have 2 quite experienced riders. So we have 2 experienced, and then from 12 up to maybe 16, which they compete show jumping most of the time. So this is exciting for them, something different.
The FEI Eventing World Challenge is on Sunday and is set for 8 a.m. at the Whitehall Equestrian Centre in St. Peter. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
That's our time tonight. Thank you for spending it with us. I'm Pearson Bowen. For the crew, to all of you, good night. Have a wonderful weekend.